How's it going, everybody? So I've been, I get a lot of common questions. I get a lot of uncommon questions too, but I was trying to think of a question that I never get, right? So I can know what questions I get, and they're the typical, like, when should I start investing? And I just say anytime because honestly, no matter what, you should be investing. Um, but this was kind of a different sort of feel. I was thinking about it. I was like, what's a question that people should be asking? And I think that the thing is, I don't think a lot of people know the right questions to ask because I don't think that they've thought of the question, obviously. But since I have a lot of experience, I thought, well, maybe I can think of the questions and also come up with the answers. A little arrogant, but I do have a lot of experience in investing, and I've been working for a long time in the same field for a while. For 12 years, I've been doing over the phone call center work. Been very good at it. Of course, lately I've, not been thrilled with the supervisor I work with. Well, that I have to answer to, but it's neither here nor there. Sometimes you just can't win them all. And yeah, so overall, we on this show we focus on just the core concepts of investing. Um, so the question we want to answer here today is so should you focus on your investment portfolio or your career? Now, me personally, I think careers are gay. And I mean that not as a homosexual, not in a homosexual way. I'm just saying in the grade school sense. I'm saying that careers are dumb. They're cool. I mean, if you're in a career worthwhile, like if you're a doctor, that's a noble pursuit. If you're a lawyer, I find that fairly noble too. Um, careers that I think are a net positive to society and everybody and help people, um, that matters. But if we're talking about some bullshit corporate career, then who cares? You know what I mean? So my whole point is now the question I'm asking is, should you focus on your career no matter what career you're doing, whether it's an important career, whether it's a not so important career? Should you focus on your career more or your investment portfolio? My problem is I think people are too hands off about their portfolio. um they're too busy spending money on stupid things when they could be investing money into incredible companies that are out there. I mean, like, dude, it's not in today's era. It's so easy to invest. It's actually surprising. There used to be more barriers to entry back in the day to invest into different companies, but in today's era, I think it's very important to focus on your portfolio. I think it matters. Um, but here, focus on your career, whatever your career may be. Um, but I think put more of a priority on your investment portfolio, because what if one day you can't do your job, the job that you've been doing for a long time, or maybe you're fed up with it, right? The career, right? Maybe you don't want to be a doctor anymore. Maybe you don't want to be a nurse. Maybe you don't want to be a lawyer anymore. Maybe you're fed up with it, or maybe you just don't have the ability to do it properly. Injury could have happened. Mental faculties aren't there anymore, that sort of thing. So I don't think people really think about the possibility of them sucking at an eventual point. And what are you going to do when you suck? Well, I mean, you could have a portfolio that pays you. That's important. Me personally, I have an individual brokerage account, basically like a Robinhood, Charles Schwab, that sort of thing. I keep it pretty tight. But yeah, I think what it boils down to is, do you what's your primary focus, And mine is for the most part, my primary focus is just to invest, but also, make sure that I'm still good at the job I do. That is important. So I do try my best to be as good at my job as possible. But my main focus really is my portfolio. Um, how invested am I? How invested am I in, stocks, bonds, and commodities? I don't really care about my weighting in any of them. I prefer to be more weighted in stocks, if we're going to be honest. I think that if you're exposed to U.S. and international stocks at a broad scale, you've pretty much hit the lottery right there. You're pretty much good to go. I mean, you got to keep investing, obviously, but the cash flows that you could get from like the dividend payouts are insane. They're really insane. So I'm truly a buy and hold sort of investor. I don't ever want to sell my shares. The goal is to buy, hold, never sell. I prefer dividends overall. I'm a big time dividend investor, that is for sure. But should you focus on investment portfolio or career? Let me rephrase this here, or investment portfolio or career. There we go. But yeah, I think overall, give me one more second, folks. So, by the way, I am feeling a little bit under the weather. When I got back home, I just was really stuffed up, and while I was doing the dishes, I kept sneezing and heezing. So I'm not exactly feeling the greatest. I might have a little bit of, I guess, what you call hay fever. The pollen appears to be in full swing at the moment, so I'm just not exactly as here as I'd want to be. Michael Donaldson is in the house, one of our greatest subscribers, members of the show, who keeps the show alive, if we're going to be honest. Michael Donaldson says Garza is heavily invested in canned chili. Now, here's the thing, man. I love canned chili. Oh, sorry, but I was a little congested, so I'm gonna make some funny faces today. I'm very congested right now, but I'm still able to. It's funny. You can't really tell that I'm congested because I talk with my chest a little bit more, but if I go a little higher, you can kind of tell I'm a little congested. Oh, but yeah, I'm a little congested at the moment. Luckily, I can still talk for the most part. I might even put a breathe right strip on here in just a second. But yeah, overall, I love Hormel chili. Actually, I do have some shares, I think, in Hormel, if I remember right. Dude, I have like one share of just about every U.S. based company. It's insane. And then also I have several ETFs that allow me to get exposure to those companies that I'm already invested in. So it's like a big deal. The companies that I really love, I do buy at least one share of them. Worst case scenario, it ends up being a flop and it goes to zero, but who the fuck cares at the end of the day? It's not much of my portfolio, and that's kind of how you balance out the risk, man. The best way to mitigate risk is to honestly just be exposed to everything in small pieces. You don't have to be overly concentrated. I prefer to be spread out, man. Spread those cheeks. I spread my cheeks the same way that I spread out my risk, very wide. But yeah, Tim Smith says, PPCEN, a job is just a job. A career is just a career. Dividend income is forever. Well, dividend income is forever until there's a dividend cut. That's another reason why you should always spread out your risk, because one of the reasons why I spread out my risk so much and have so many different ETFs, whether it's cover call ETFs, whether it's dividend centric ETFs, or just U.S. stocks that pay a dividend, I have a share of just about everything, because if any of the companies that I have a dividend cut, that happens. Dividend cuts happen. Tough times happen. But having covered call ETFs is a great thing during a bear market, because it can be a nice extra source of income for you to invest into more companies, or just more ETFs, anything you got. I love international ETFs because international companies actually pay really good dividends. They don't grow so well because there's a lot of international companies that suck ass. But overall, I mean, there's quite a few ones that do really well. So Michael Donaldson saying pick up some Z Clear nasal spray, works amazing. That's actually something. What's it called? Z Clear? Hold on. Z Clear. I'm writing this down. Nasal spray. I find if I write things down, I remember it better. Even though I use really advanced computers and stuff like that on a day-to-day basis, I still love pen to paper. I'm a pen to paper guy. When I do this show, I'm very pen to paper. Now, there are times I'll type out notes. Obviously, it happens, but I prefer there's something about the hand to the pen to the paper connection. I'm not gonna go into a whole Matthew McConaughey speech about it. Like, sometimes when you got the pen to the paper. I'm trying to see if I could do a McConaughey impression about the art of handwriting. Sometimes when I'm sitting alone, I like to pretend like I'm one of the greatest writers of all time. I like to put my pen to the paper and, sometimes a spark of inspiration. I do a terrible McConaughey. I'm not as good as McConaughey. I have a better Nick Cage impression because Nick Cage kind of talks like this, a little more intense, but you feel like he is barely concealing his rage and wants to unleash upon the world. Now, the connection between the pen and the paper, well, that's one thing. I feel like I'm kind of going into Chris Hansen / Nick Cage. I would love to see Nick Cage play Chris Hansen in a Hollywood biopic of Chris Hansen. Hello, I'm Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC. I have the chat logs. Can you imagine Chris Hansen, can you imagine Nick Cage playing Chris Hansen in a, To Catch a Predator biopic? That would be awesome. I would be all about that, because he'd be like, I have the chat logs here, and as I was reading the chat logs, I know you're one sick son of a bitch. And it could just be like a really intense, Hollywood, over-exaggerated biopic of the To Catch a Predator series. These are the things that I think about sometimes. Mainly during the show. You guys spark my inspiration. But no, clear nasal spray, that sounds pretty good. I don't really get congested very often. In fact, my nose doesn't really get congested at all for the most part. But right now is a bit of an exception. I was around the cats today. I'm a little allergic to the kitties, but I don't think it was the cats this time. I really think it was just a lot of pollen, I feel like I was exposed to a lot of pollen or something. Whew. But yeah, I definitely... It's tickling the nostrils. I had to blow my nose quite a bit when I got home. It was crazy. But Tim Smith says, Garza Katsi Rivera. Oh my God. I love Ryan Katsi Rivera. I'm still subscribed to Ryan's YouTube. Are you subscribed, Tim? Are you subscribed to Ryan Katsi Rivera's YouTube page? I will say that, Tim, if you're not subscribed to Ryan Katsi Rivera, I was trying to do Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. My Robert Downey Jr. impression is quite amazing, and I even impress myself. I can't really do the, but like I said, I could do Nick Cage all day. But I could do Nick Cage all day, any day. It's very intense style of speaking. I also could do kind of that American Psycho. Christian Bale accent a little bit. I'm 23 years old. I live in the Upper West Side apartment. I don't like to use alcohol because it's bad for the skin. But I love doing that style of I love those types of voices. They're very easy for me to do. Now, Robert Downey Jr. on the other hand is I'm Robert Downey Jr. I like to, sometimes I like to talk to Jarvis. Jarvis, can you please give me the suppository? That's what I'm really looking for. Anyway, so but Garza Katsu Rivera, I think I'm turning into I am the best worst impressionist of all time. There are some impressions that are so bad, that are so trash. It just makes my head spin because I'll hear them and I know it's bad, but I keep going anyway because it's just funny. But let's see. Michael Donaldson says, I'd like to see a movie where Chris Hansen busts into a Diddy party. Dude, I'd watch that. Without a doubt, watch that 100%. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, that'd be great, man. It could be like a Bizarro type of movie too, where Chris Hansen realizes that the Diddy life is more exciting than his life, and he's like, I want to participate in the Freak Offs, baby. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of how Chris Hansen would even say that. Diddy, I have the chat logs. You're very sexy. Let's see. And then Tim Smith says, I searched for exposed nostrils and the stream came up. That absolutely did. My boy Nate Dogg and his things and shit says, that's great. Now, that's great. Now let's see Paul Allen's impression. I will say that Paul Allen, one of the greatest businessmen of our time. I want to do like a fake documentary where I just do like the Patrick Bateman voice, and I start talking about the greatness of Paul Allen, which we virtually know nothing about from the fun fact, the Portland Trailblazers owner before he passed away, his name was Paul Allen. So it was always weird hearing that name in the movie because the Portland Trailblazers basketball owner, may he rest in peace, Paul Allen, stud. Love that guy. Paul Allen from the movie, fun fact, from the, I don't know why I want to say Fight Club. He's also in Fight Club, by the way. But the guy who plays Paul Allen in American Psycho is also in Fight Club. But he's the 30 Seconds to Mars lead singer. He's that guy. I love this dude. Dude's the man. Let's see. But Nathan. Oh man, yeah. Paul Allen does everything better than me. Is all I'm saying. Let's see Paul Allen's card. It's very impressive. No, I will admit though, if I was to ever do a job interview where I just didn't give a flying shit, like I was just there to just be interviewed by a corporate boss or something, I would probably try my best to sound like Pat Bateman. I would give Patrick Bateman tone and answers. For example, if he asks me like, where do you expect to see yourself in 5 years? I expect to see myself in your seat. I want to take your throne. And I want to make sure that by the time I take over this company, you will all be bowing down to me. But that sort of thing. Like, just be like, just sound like a total psychopath. But let's see. Tim Smith says, Ryan Katsu Rivera's YouTube page hasn't posted a video in 7 months. He works with Sam Hyde now. He still does live streams, doesn't he? Hold on. I can't remember the last time I actually did watch Ryan. He hasn't posted in 7 months? What the fuck have I been watching? Unless I've been seeing reposts that are not from Ryan's channel, which is highly possible. I've seen a lot of repost channels where they'll like repost something that I think it's new and it turns out it was like aired like a year ago. For instance, there are these channels that do it with like Gavin and Anthony Kuma and Anthony Cumia and Gavin McInnes. There are these specific YouTube channels that just repost their content. And I mean, I like it because it's great. But yeah, I could have swore Ryan was still posting. Tim Smith says, I think he does streams, but not on his own channel. I think he's on Sam Hyde's channel. So do you know the inside scoop a little bit? Like, did Ryan quit Gavin's show because he just kind of did he actually get fed up with Gavin, or did he just like realize he had to move or something? Like his wife wanted to move, and where they were moving, Sam Hyde happened to be living there, and he decided to join Sam Hyde's channel. Is that kind of how it went? because I haven't really looked into the whole scoop behind Ryan leaving. I mean, it is possible that maybe they had a bit of a conflicting personality thing going on. That's possible, but they always seem to get along in my opinion, at least from just watching the show. But yeah, I'm actually a little surprised. And it's the thing is, like, I'll look up just Ryan Katsu Rivera shit, and I don't even really look at the channel though. That's the thing. I just look up Ryan Katsu Rivera on YouTube, and I'll see all these what I think are new videos, but they're probably from Sam Hyde's show. Tim Smith says Ryan left New York because has two young kids, and New York State forces a bunches of vaxes on them, so he moved to a state that doesn't require that, so his kids don't get vaxxed. Well, hopefully at least his kids are getting the polio vaccine or something. There are some vaccines that I do believe are really, really important. I think the polio vaccine's one of them, but outside of it, though, I'm trying to think of the tetanus vaccines. I think tetanus shot's not a bad idea, but outside of it, though, I don't know. I think I think even the COVID vaccines are a little extreme. I think that when they're pushing things like the COVID vaccine, it's pretty sketchy. So I think people should have a choice. Even kids should have a choice. Be like, yeah, I want to look into this. Even though kids, it should never. I think it should be the parents' decision ultimately. Whether the parents wrong or right, that's kind of on them at the end of the day. But see, I'm all about individual freedoms. Like, I think people should have the right to be dumb. Like, even though I think it's a bad idea to refuse the polio vaccine and stuff, if somebody really thinks it's a good idea, it's like, can't really force that on anybody, you know what I mean? I still think the polio vaccine is very important, by the way. Everybody should have that vaccine. Everybody. Let's see what else we got here. But yeah, it makes sense. New York also just has a lot of weird laws in general. I think they're really strict on guns. Just a lot of different things, man. New York is not, from what I've read, New York is kind of like, I don't know if they're worse than California as far as their laws are concerned. I would have to do a comparison of which state has the most annoying laws, California or New York. Now, I will admit, Oregon, I think, is trying to be California. The state of Oregon, I should say. Because then again, I think Oregon was actually the first to legalize pot. Oh, no, wait a minute. No. I think it was, no, California was second to legalize it. That's right. California was second to legal. I think Oregon legalized it first. And then I think, California is interesting, man. I mean, nothing against pot, by the way. I just think that, like, Oregon tries too hard to be like California, or maybe California's trying too hard to be like Oregon. I'm not too sure. The jury's still out on that. But yeah. Anyway, I'm a little off topic here. So this is why I love doing these live streams. You want to do one topic, but you veer off into another lane completely. But going back to the core of the subject, it's like, what's more important? Your portfolio or your career? My experience that I've accumulated doing my job, it means I could jump into any call center job that I want, for the most part. I've got 12 years of experience under my belt, so I really don't have too much fear of getting fired. I'd probably take a break, if we're going to be all completely honest with each other. If I do get fired, I'm still on the fence. I'm a never say never kind of guy. But I'm leaning towards, like, I'm kind of done. Like, I'm not just burnt out, but I'm tired of I don't like management. I don't like being told what to do by people who I think are incompetent. And that sucks because, like, Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I don't mind incompetent people if they can at least admit that they've got flaws, right? Like that they may not be the best for the position, but they're trying, right? I'll give props to that, especially if they mean well, especially if they're really making their best effort. But when I sense malice and bullshit and nitpicking and micromanaging and all that shit, it's out the window. I think you're a crap supervisor if that's the case. And I have to deal with a crap supervisor. I don't even care if she knows that I mean, I've already told her basically that I don't like her and that I'm not a fan. Like, the only reason I would quit is not because of the job itself. It's because of the supervisor I have to directly answer to for my one-on-ones and all that shit. I don't even mind talking about this. Like, the thing is, I like, if they ever found out about it, it's like, well, I didn't mention them specifically in the video. I could have a second job that they're not aware of, but they know who they are. Anyway, the point is, it's like, when you have the thing about my portfolio is this. I am an owner in multiple companies. I get dividend payouts from my stocks. My stocks don't really care how I perform in life. All they care about is that I hold them. Isn't that a concept? So you're telling me, and this is one of the things, when I first heard about dividend investing, I kind of crapped my pants and I was a little bit pissed. Because I was like, when I first heard about it, I was like, so you're telling me that all I have to do is hold on to a company and I get paid every quarter or every month, depending on when they pay their dividends, if they pay a dividend, that is. And I was like, damn. I was like, fucking damn. Anyway, I'm going to read the comments real quick. But yeah, so before I read the comments, I want to say I believe that my investment portfolio is far more important than my call center career. I can dump that career in a second, mainly because, one, I can put on a resume at any time, which my resume does have, that I have all the experience that I can need. I can jump into any entry level. And then also, if that job sucks, I could write it off, you know what I mean? I could do the job, and if I really, really hated it or just want to get fired from that other company that I may want to work for, I just won't put that on my resume. But I've got 12 years, so I'm trying not to burn my bridges with the company that I work for currently, which I think is trash, but that's okay. They pay me, and that I do a good job for them. So there's not a lot of love between me and the company that I work for, but I sell my skills to them. They pay me a pretty decent amount of money per hour, and we'll call it that. So I am grateful for that side of it. Not grateful for who I have to answer to, though. I've never had a crappier supervisor in my life. Let's see here. Tim Smith says you should do that one of those Indian gift card Indian gift card scam call centers. Do not redeem. That'd be interesting, actually. That would be pretty fun, actually. Those call centers, man. Anytime I get a call, part of me wants to put my phone number out there to those call centers so they can give me a call. Or maybe there's a Reddit page that's dedicated to putting those phone numbers out there, those spam call phone numbers, and I could just call them directly and be like, yeah, I want to give you like my information and shit. Oh, my boy TJ from Stocks Family Farm is saying that AI is already replacing call centers. They have AI that the Indian call centers use to Americanize their talking, like a voice mask. That's insane. Really? So you're not going to be able to hear, hello, my name is Peter. Could I get your first and last name, please? Hello, my name is Peter. I'm trying to do the no. That sounds more like I'm trying to do like my. That's how it would sound if I actually sounded Hispanic, like. No, but if I was to do my Indian accent, be like, my name is Hamid. My name is Hamid. Hello. I speak Chinese. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But anyway, don't ban me. Don't try to censor me. It's just an impression. No harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's see. Yeah, no, here's the thing, man. Like, so luckily with my job, I mean, I do a lot of calls in a day. I do about 50 to 60 calls. I think they'd probably end up using humans to work on the problems that the AI can't solve, probably. And usually, I mean, we already have AI that does tasks for us at our job, but it's more for on the email side of things, not for the voice side of things. So we basically take the calls. The AI does the what do you call it? Does the other back end stuff. It basically answers emails. It can even integrate in the systems, which is pretty impressive. So yeah, AI agents have already kind of taken over, and they tried to. It's funny. We even had a meeting. They even tried to reassure us that this AI thing is so great, and don't worry, you're not going to be replaced. The AI is just an assistant here to help you out. Look, I mean, I don't care. Look, if I lose my job to AI, I'm not going to complain about it. I use AI all the time. In fact, it would be poetic justice, if anything, for me to lose my job to AI. But I probably won't. I mean, I probably could though. I mean, not gonna lie. As long as I still have my phone skills, um, I still have a place in the call center world to do phone calls. I could basically be a phone jockey. Um, outside of it though, I mean, I take about 60 calls a day. It's been less busy, so I've been actually taking about 45 to 50. But I take a lot of inbound calls. Like I do a pretty good job. But yeah, I'm replaceable. They tried to. It's funny that the client that we work for tried to assure us, "Oh, you're not replaceable." I don't believe you. I will say this client has. I don't trust the client that I work for. If I'm going to be, I'm not. I just don't trust him. Period. So yeah, if they fire me. They fire me. I have my opinions about the company I work for and the client that and when I say the client, I mean the company that I do the outsourcing for. So it's neither here nor there. Like I said, I've been doing this job for a long time, done very well. Not for this specific client. I've actually worked for about 5 different clients in total. A lot of them just left because we were too expensive. I mean, that makes sense to me. Tim Smith says, logging into my work system to check my next bi-weekly paycheck. Who has a guess as to what it will be? Ooh. Well, I think, Tim, in your position, because you do work for the government, so you work for the Canadian government, so you probably get paid quite a bit. But if I were to guess in Canadian dollars what you get paid on a bi-weekly basis, let's see. I don't know how much. Let's say I'll assume after tax. We'll assume after taxes. So I'm going to assume that, Tim, you get paid after taxes 1,500, maybe 1,000, maybe close to $2,000 per 2 weeks, and maybe I might be going a little crazy with those numbers, by the way. But those are my guesses. All right, I'm probably wrong. I think I'm going to say closer to. We're going to say 1,800. That's my final answer. I might be overblowing that, maybe. No, wait, because the Canadian. I'm thinking of U.S. dollars still. So I'm thinking that Tim actually gets paid 2,200 in Canadian dollars. 2,200 Canadian dollars every 2 weeks from his job. That's my guess. That's my final offer. Too many guesses on that one. Stocks Family Farm says nope, it removes the accent and even adds and so and other commonality. Wow. That's pretty impressive. To make an Indian guy sound like a Westerner. That's pretty impressive. I'll give him props. Give him props on that one, man. Let's see. Stocks Family Farm says, I think I will buy the end of the year, but I have no retirement because my company is in the Netherlands. Ah. Hey, man, here's the thing, man. You don't want to rely solely on your company to provide you retirement. All right. TJ, straight up, you don't want to rely on your company to provide you retirement. This is one of the reasons why I promote investing so much, is because, first off, I don't trust my company, period. I used to when they were owned by different, when they didn't merge with the company that they merged with now. Like, all trust went out the window. What I'm trying to say is this, my man. Don't rely on any company pensions. I mean, hey, if a company offers a pension, I think it's a good idea to take a pension. But don't rely solely on the pension as your retirement vessel. If you 401ks are not bad, Roth IRAs are not bad. I think that you should talk to a financial advisor, see if those are more up your alley. But honestly, I am very happy and content having an individual brokerage account where all I do is invest on my own. I buy the ETFs. I don't do a whole lot of active trading. In fact, 20% of it is actively traded. 80% of it is straight up just buy and hold forever. Let the dividends come in, reinvest the dividends into something else, but keep investing. Investing is important, man, because your job may not be around forever. Your company could always lay you off. That happens to anybody. Even good workers can get laid off for whatever reason. It happens. And so having an investment portfolio and being aware of it and being aware of what you're buying and holding, it's no different. Well, it is different technically than having a real estate portfolio. But the beauty about stocks is, one of the reasons why I'm such a big fan of the stock market is because I could be, I'm hands-on with my portfolio, but I don't need to run the company to invest into it, if that makes sense. So when I'm investing in Coca-Cola, I don't need to run Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is managed by somebody else who knows how to, first off, manage far better than I do. So in a lot of ways, I'm hiring other people in a lot of ways to do the job that I don't want to do. And as an investor, I'm an owner. So when I buy a share of Coca-Cola, I'm an owner of Coca-Cola, straight up, even though I'm a very small owner. But that's okay. I still get the benefits of a dividend. I still get the benefits of price appreciation of the stock. If the company does well, maybe the company does a stock buyback program. The list goes on. There are so many benefits to being an owner of a great company, especially if the company is already well established. The growth may not be rapid, but hey, income is income. Growth is growth. Diversification is the key, spreading out your risk. But anyway, you don't want to just be in Coca-Cola. You want to be in everything you can get your hands on. Let's see. I think it will be, let's see. Tim Smith says, I lost my job to AI when he signed with the Nuggets. That's a good Tim Smith, that was a very good basketball joke, by the way. To anybody, I can't speak today, man. To anybody whose head that joke went over, I'm going to explain it. First off, he's talking about Allen Iverson, which is great. Allen Iverson did go to the Nuggets. I can't remember what year he went to the Nuggets, but he played for the 76ers for quite a while. But yeah, he did. Nuggets, that's so great, dude. That's so funny. Stocks Family Farm says, lose my job by the end of the year. Stocks Family Farm says, I have gold and silver. It's good that you do have at least, commodities are honestly, a pretty decent inflation hedge for the most part. They're not always perfect when it comes to being an inflation hedge, but they do appreciate in value over time. They're fairly scarce. They have a lot of utility. They are sought after. So, oh shit, hold on. So Tim Smith says Wednesday I get paid $1,730 on my initial projection of $1,800, because I did throw out a lot of projections, by the way. My final answer was $2,200. I should have stuck with my $1,800 projection for Tim's biweekly pay. Now, is this after taxes, Tim? Is this after the taxes? Or is this before the taxes? I'll assume it's after the taxes, because that's usually the best way to know. Stocks lost my. Yeah, man. Now, are you saying that you've already lost the job, or you're going to lose the job by the end of the year? Because honestly, like, I mean, you know, oh man. See, Tim Smith says that's after taxes, medical, dental, union dues. So that's what I actually take home. Oh, okay. Damn, that's pretty good, man. Honestly, it's better than what I take home for the most part because I will say my job is not like high paying, but also I'm getting paid in US dollars. So if I were to calculate what I'm getting paid in Canadian dollars, let's see. Because I get about after taxes and stuff, I get, let's see, 1,100 USD. And this is after taxes is typically what I get to Canadian. Okay, so I make about $1,504 in Canadian dollars. So I'm about, no, Tim definitely does make more in Canadian dollars than I would in Canadian dollars if we're doing the conversions after taxes. That's not bad. Get it, Tim, dude. I think you, but here's the thing, Tim. I think you have more taxes to pay in Canada, don't you? Like your taxes in Canada sound like they're pretty rough. At least that's what I've heard about Canada overall. Stocks Family Farm says probably will lose it, but not sure. I also have a bunch of eggs. They're basically gold. Well, man, I honestly hope you're able to still keep doing the job either way, dude. I don't know I don't know if you want to reveal, everything you do, but um, man, I just no, I honestly just hope. Well, I mean, hope isn't the best thing in the world, but I sincerely want to see you succeed, my man. Because you're a cool dude. TJ TJ's the man, dude. I know you guys haven't. Actually, you guys might have seen TJ if you guys watched one of my live streams when I was at that. What was it, like the No Kings protest or something? Um, you know, got my boy on stream. It was pretty fun. I had a good time doing that. That was fun. A lot of people were. There were some people who were total d bags to me though at that No Kings thing. It was really tough for me to want to go back to one of those because like some of the people there were just really like toxic, like beyond belief, man. I was like, jeez. Like this is one of the reasons why the Democratic Party's become so unpopular is because of how they treat people who don't believe what they believe. If they were at least halfway decent and stopped calling me fascist, I'd actually probably consider voting the way they vote. Not completely though. I'm not that gullible. Look, I don't believe in socialism. I don't believe in communism, but Stocks Family Farm says I work in marketing. Oh fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. But dude, marketing is great, dude. I can't obviously give any career advice because you're doing different stuff than I'm doing, but marketing's kind of cool, dude. I mean, if you're, do you feel like you're pretty good at it? And are we talking about like digital marketing, that sort of thing, like doing like we talking about like I don't know social media stuff or I won't. You can only reveal what you feel like revealing is what I should say, because I don't like forcing people to reveal too much on the internet. You know what I mean? So, um, Stocks Family Farm says I went to another one after that. Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say marketing's lucrative, man. For example, for my YouTube channel and my website, I actually do Amazon Associates. I gotta stop saying so much, man. It's a bad habit. But I do Amazon Associates where I there it goes again with the ums. I gotta stop with these man. So with Amazon Associates, I place the links on my website. I place the links on my YouTube channel. Overall, I I pretty much just talk about the products. I talk about the products that I use, how much I enjoy them, how much value they give to me on a personal level. And people seem to eat that up. I'm not saying I really get a lot of sales from it, but I get people clicking. I look at the analytics and people are clicking on these links. Not many people are buying though. That's okay, but what can one do? I think it's cool that you do marketing though, man. Marketing's fun. Marketing's neat. No matter what type of marketing. It's a little tough though. It can be a little tough, but it can be fun depending on what you're marketing for. Tim Smith says I pay about 27% of my gross paycheck in federal taxes, provincial state taxes, pension plan deduction, employment insurance deduction, union dues, etc. Damn, dude. Freaking union. A lot of different taxes, man. I mean, I'm not going to lie. In the U.S., we have some pretty weird taxes as well. We got federal, state, Social Security, all sorts of other random shit. But, let's see. Stocks Family Farm says, I've done it 13 years. It's print, digital, and web. We are a third-party marketing company worldwide, and I work mostly in the Asia and East Europe. I don't get to do creative stuff anymore, just emails mostly, administrative now. Dude. I mean, if you're good at it, man. I don't know, it's tough. It's tough because I can't say that I'm fully enjoying the job that I do anymore, but I still do it for the money. So I'm a sellout. But no, I don't mind the job I do. I think the thing is, I work for a supervisor that I don't like at all, and that makes it very difficult. Because it's not the job. I actually do enjoy the job, but who I have to work for has been the biggest problem. The irony is I work from home, and like I said, I've been doing this job for a while. I do a good job. But they just love. My supervisor loves to nitpick. She loves to micromanage, and it's just not fun. And I do tend to complain about my supervisor quite a bit on my channel, admittedly. I think I do it because I know that she's aware that my channel exists. I think just to some degree, I think she knows. And if she doesn't, well, I'm wrong. I've been known to be wrong from time to time. Yes, with limited data, you can only make assumptions. But no, with the way she treats me and stuff, it just seems like the only thing I could think of. I haven't had too many bad supervisors in my life either, which is funny. And like I said, I don't want to quit this job. I'm actually good at it. And they haven't fired me yet, so it's a weird one. It's a very tenuous relationship that I have with this company right now. Stocks Family Farm says it's how I met my wife too, so that's cool. Heck yeah, man. Get it. Well, I say if it makes good, if you make good money doing it and you at least have some joy for it, I think it's worth still doing. I think it's funny. Here's the thing. I'll tell you what, you could still farm and you could still do this job. I don't know how you could pull it off, because I mean, you could do, I don't know if you have to put like 8 hours a day into the marketing job that you're doing, but you could still spend like an hour, 2 hours afterwards farming and stuff like that. That makes sense to me. Michael Donaldson says, check out USGS Live Colonial Eruption. I'm heading up there in a few. Whoa! there a volcano erupting in Hawaii or one of the islands? Did the eruption just happen? Mr. Donaldson, don't get too close to that volcano, my man. Be careful. Green Money Momentum says investment portfolio. Do you trade options at all? From time to time. From time to time, I'll do a little bit of options trading. Not much. I only do it if I feel like a tinge of wanting to gamble. The irony is options trading. So instead of going to the casino, if I have to get my gambling itch out of the way, if I have a good prediction on something, I'll do like a call contract or a put contract, depending on which way I think the stock price is going to go. And I'll put down like a month or two on the expiration date, and I'll let it swing. But I don't put a lot of money down. I find the more cheaper ones, But I'm not a big fan. I will say this though. It is enjoyable to do put contracts on a variety of penny stocks. I do kind of get some sick thrill from that for the most part. But not often. It's not something I do fairly often, But I got to look up what Mr. Donaldson was talking about, you guys. So this happened. Lava fountains for over 500 feet in the air. Oh my goodness, man. Woo! I'm looking at some of these images right now. Let me see if I could put some of these. If you guys get bored, actually look up I don't feel like putting out the screen right now because I'm not going to be doing live video for too long for the rest of the night. But we'll talk about the eruption real quick. That's crazy. What does the news article say on this? Seems. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. But yeah, I do trade options from time to time. Green Money Moment. I don't like to do it very often because I don't like gambling. But for the most part, actually, I do bet against Bitcoin. So I guess I could say I'm a little bit of a gambler. But I bet against it using a pretty controlled leveraged ETF. So there's a lot less risk, in my opinion, using a leveraged ETF and just buying like one share at a time. Makes life a little easier. I trickle buy the S-bit and the bitty. Not financial advice. Tim Smith says, combine marketing and farming into rage farming. Sell those angry whoppers. Stocks Family Farm says, I have to go, but we will talk soon, sir. Have a great night. Thank you, my man. Everybody, subscribe to Mr. TJ's channel, Stocks Family Farm. One of the reasons I want to encourage you guys, because he's a really cool dude, very down-to-earth fella. And I met him at one of the No Kings rallies. He was one of the people. He had a very funny sign. It said Ice Ice Baby on it. And it was awesome. He even did the whole Vanilla Ice, from memory, by the way, of the Ice Ice Baby song. He sang it in front of the camera. It was fucking glorious. It was awesome. And so yeah, subscribe to Stocks Family Farm if you haven't already. Tim Smith, subscribe. Green Money Momentum, subscribe. Mr. Donaldson, subscribe. Stocks Family Farm, really cool dude, really down to earth fella. He's just a cool dude. He's a family man. And I just want to see him be successful. So especially, I want to see him make some YouTube money. So if we can get him over 1,000 subscribers. Also, people love farming videos, by the way. So if you're doing any little things, even as simple as planting a tree, even getting a short video of you doing whatever you're doing on the farm itself, whatever you got going on, man, it's pretty dope. But let's see here. What else we got? So if you guys don't subscribe, Diddy's going to find you, okay? P. Diddy's going to find you if you don't subscribe to Stocks Family Farms. That's all I got to say. Anyway. Tim Smith says, I'm glad. Oh, good Lord. Freaking Alex Rosen, man. Oh, Tim, what are you doing? Tim, what are you doing? By the way, Tim, I don't think I told you. Do you remember that guy that we, do you remember that pedo guy that we busted? Because you mentioned Alex Rosen. Well, that kid, well, he's not really a kid, but he's still pretty young. He's like 22, 23. So he's working at Walmart right now. Like, remember how we had found his address? Like, we had actually figured out where he was located. You were the one who actually helped find him, which was pretty impressive, to be honest. Tim Smith might be the ultimate detective. He might be even a better detective than Batman in the long run. But yeah, I was gonna say our boy is working at Walmart, and it's a little strange. But I'm gonna see if I can find the video. Give me 1 second here. Actually, I want to see if I can pull it up. All right, give me a second, folks. I'm being a slowpoke. If I could find it, and I think it was my bro. I think my brother actually sent me the video at some point. Now, I'm going to show the video here in just a second, but it was kind of a wild video. And this is one of the dudes who was on Alex Rosen, because Tim mentioned Alex Rosen, and I want to see if I can get it. He sent me the video. He sent me in May or something. Okay, here's the video. Hold on, maybe this is it. Oh, it's not available. What the hell? Darn, it's not available anymore. Son of a bitch. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. You know, I'm not going to look for it. But anyway, he works at Walmart. I was going to try to get an exclusive interview with him. It's weird because I had seen him as well. But, yeah, it's kind of weird. We're going to be honest. Weird shit, man. Tim Smith also says you need to do a Walmart stakeout. Observe. I just pick my nose, everybody. I'm gonna pick my nose. You need to do a Walmart stakeout, observe and report. Absolutely. One of these days, I have like a little tiny tripod where I could put my video camera on it, in like a cart or something like that. I just need to put my video camera, my cell phone camera in the cart. We'll do a live stream within Walmart itself. Hopefully, not lose too much signal while doing it. But it would be fun. It would be fun to do a live one and see if my boys work in there. Yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy that, you know, I mean, like, there's so much evidence, and I think I think he is a little bit, he's definitely on the autism spectrum for sure, but it's still no excuse for him to be like, because he was working with, what was creepy about it was he was working with kids at Sunset Middle School. And I think after he lost his job, because I'm pretty sure enough parents went down there and complained and showed him the video that I had showed everybody on there on the Facebook groups. But it was a big deal. Big deal. It would be interesting to do an observe and report though on it. I could be the Alex Rose and Akuz Bay. You know, it'd be really interesting though, is to be dressed up like Chris Hansen. Of course, be like Skeeter Jensen or call myself Skeet Hansen. You know, but dress up like Chris Hansen. You know, and like do one of those things where I pretend to be like a young man, right? And just like try to get him to Walmart or something like that and do a live video, live interview. It wouldn't be a bust or anything, but it'd be like, why? Why do you do this? Like, what goes through your head? And, you know, walk around the store with the pedo and try to understand their mindset, figure out why they're doing this shit. Really, that's my goal. Like, I'm not here to serve justice. I'm here to understand the mindset. Like, why do they think it's a good idea? Or were they thinking at all? That's the question. Tim Smith says I have dueling live streams right now. Garza on one screen, Las Vegas, Fremont Street live on the other. Oh, that's too good. Smart man, though. Smart man. Do you guys want to watch me watch my exercise ball? I'm gonna do. This is gonna be the lamest stream that you're ever gonna see towards the end. Watch this. I'm gonna watch the ball. See the ball? Yeah. Let me get a little soap on this thing. Oh yeah. Washing this thing down. Yeah. By the way, I'm using my ShamWow. There we go. This is what we have. Let's see. I have this is not what one expected from this show, but this, yeah, washing the ball. There we go. All right. Scrub it down. Mild detergent here. Yeah. All right. Rubbing the balls. There we go. Okay. Now. Now we're using a ShamWow that. Hold on. Oh. Now we're using a ShamWow that oh fuck. All right, we're using a ShamWow that has no soap on it. You should. Sorry, YouTube is blocked. Hold on, let me see if I can fix that. Oh, I keep sneezing. Oh, let me see if I can fix that here. Oh. Here we are. All right, now for the grand finale. Gotta get a towel. Now, dry towel. So this is how you improperly wipe down a ball. So the ball is still pretty moist. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna put the ball to the side. That way, it's not so bad. There we go. All right. So that's the. I'm gonna sit in the chair for a second. We'll let the ball dry off. Yeah, I like to try to clean that exercise ball like once every week. It's been the goal. All right. Okay. Okay, so Tim is saying Tim Dillon, Uber store. Oh my god, yes. That is one of my favorite. I haven't watched that one in a while, but that is one of my favorite Tim Dillon clips. In fact, yes. That would be a fun reaction video. So while we're letting the ball fully dry off, I'm just, as it's marinating and sitting, oh. You guys will have to give me a second, though. My nose is... Keep my name out of here. Wait, did I say Tim Smith? Did I say like a Tim? Did I say Tim Smith on that one? Oh man, that's funny. Okay. Let me pull up the video real quick. This will probably be how we end the show. We're gonna react to a Tim Dillon clip to end the show. And it's gonna be one of my favorite. This is actually one of my favorite clips. I totally forgot about this one until Mr. Tim Smith brought it up. All right, let's see. All right. You guys ready for this? Okay, Tim Dillon. Oh, I am struggling right now. Uber. Oh man, there is there one that actually shows the? Hold on there. Where's the OG clip? Hold on, original clip. Maybe this is an audio only one. All right, I guess we'll just watch the OG one. Here we go.
Nothing compares to the Uber ride today.
Now we're going to put this at 1.25 speed just so we can get through it a little faster, but that way it's still coherent.
Nothing compares to my Uber ride from LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, to my buddy's house. I get in the Uber. Nice woman. Normal woman.
Yeah.
Normal person. Does not appear at all
Right.
to be a little chunky. She looked like someone that could be a relative of mine.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Nice lady.
Decent car, nice new car.
Nice
whatever.
Chevy little car.
Yeah.
Little SUV. Get in the back. Hey, you got a charger? Hey, Tim, I don't. But if you have a cord, I got a port. Okay, I got a cord. This time I have a cord. Put it in. 10 minutes. I'm just listening to some music. She tries to talk to me a few times. So I said, you know what? I like talking. So I just take the headphones
Oh,
off.
hold on.
And I start getting into it with her. I look at the phone.
Hold
we got
on.
48 minutes. 48.
Oh, God.
So
Give me 1 second. I'm going to read Tim's comments real quick. Hold on. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. Okay, let's check out. Okay, we'll check out that one because the Uber one's funny, but I've already seen that one a couple of times. So let's see. Keep my name out your mouth. Let's see here. I'm curious. Let's see. Sorry, you guys. I'm really struggling with my nose right now. It's been hit or miss. I think this is the one. Here we go.
Are you ready for retirement? Our free retirement planner shows you where you stand now.
Skip.
I put up on my Instagram that cum pig photo from a sketch I did years ago. Okay, look at that. Eli Roth. Happy birthday to Q. Very fun. I put that up, and I said, today is my birthday. I want to thank my parents for all their support. This is what you created. Enjoy it. And my aunt wrote a comment, and the comment, let's not find it. And the comment was, and my cousin sent me the comment. The comment was, the saddest part is that you have your grandfather's name and you don't care at all, and you care nothing about his legacy. Very, very nasty comment. Very, very nasty comment. And you know me, I hate to bring family drama on the show. I hate that. You know, I don't do it.
It's funny because I have no problem bringing any drama in my life to my own show. So I have the complete opposite. I enjoy talking about the random shit that goes on in my life. It's kind of fun. Because maybe people might get a sick thrill out of it. I don't know. But I figure whatever's going on in my life, well, my life's kind of boring. I'm more interested in concepts and stuff. But yeah, sometimes you got to bring your family drama into the show. It makes it more interesting. It makes you more human, and makes Tim Dillon more human to me. Let's keep watching.
You can get this down. I really don't do it. Okay. My Aunt Kathleen, by the way, comes from me on Instagram, brings up my grandfather, and insults me on the day of my birth. Now, let's get something straight, you bum bitch. Didn't you fake a drug overdose? Didn't you fake a suicide attempt? I keenly remember you faking that you overdosed on drugs and you were taken to a hospital in an ambulance in front of your...
See, I love this shit because there are people in my life that, like, sometimes they give me too much shit and I'm like, I won't blow up on them. You know what I mean? For instance, my supervisor at work. I have to keep a very cool head around her. Oh, man. But no, I get it, because like if they can point out your flaws, but you point out theirs and it's a different story.
Mother, who had just dealt with Grandpa's death. What part of Grandpa's legacy were you honoring with that behavior? What part of it? Do you remember that? I remember you going to a hospital and then having the entire family go worried about you. Not me, but other people, because I know what you're up to, you clown bitch. They went to the hospital and said, "What drugs is she on, doctor?" And the doctor goes...
What I actually want to see is his aunt's reaction to this clip. That's what I want to see the most. And you could tell he does not give two shits about how his family perceives him. I get it. I'm the same way. Most of my family, I hope they think I'm on meth. I really do. Like, I'm more successful than them because I've avoided most of my family. Because, yeah.
There are no drugs in her system. She literally pretended to be unconscious, so then an ambulance went to the home, put her in it, and drove her to the hospital, scaring her mother half to death. Grandpa's legacy. Okay, what part of Grandpa's legacy were you thinking about when you took his money for law school and then never practiced law and were fired multiple times by multiple law firms all over Long Island because you're mentally ill? Forcing your father to set up a pretend law office for you in your basement that you pretend to be a lawyer in. You added a phone line to the house to pretend to be an attorney. What part of the legacy is that? What part of the legacy is borrowing money from your more successful brothers and sisters and not paying any of it back while you sit around the house doing Percocet and drinking white wine? What part of the legacy is that? Are you honoring his days as a carpenter? Is that what you're honoring by sitting around and getting junked up on the couch, pretending to OD? And by the way, the life you live, you don't even have to pretend, okay? You can't even do that right. So I'm just wondering why you would bring up my grandfather, who I have all the respect in the world for, a legendary character, patriarch of an amazing family, rose from poverty, did all these things. Why come on my Instagram and say anything negative and bring up a guy who every day with...
This is amazing, man. This is like there are times where you just have to go on these kind of rants, whether it's on, if you have a show, it's even more power to you, or whether you have to do it to them, whether it's on social media, whether it's in their face. I prefer to blow up on people. Like, if I'm going to have a rage attack, I prefer to, like, face to face the people that I got the beef with. But that's my preference. I'll admit it. But sometimes I will vent about people on the show. I do that. I try not to. It is tough. But sometimes I get so pissed off that I'm like, fuck it. Don't care. And it happens.
Your life and your choices, where is his legacy in mind? Kathleen, and I know you watch this, okay? In between reading Q drops and letting Fox News broil your already Vicodin-addled brain, okay? It's the wrong day, Kathleen. I'm the wrong one. You know that. I blocked you on the family. I got a new phone to get to the family fucking group text because you kept texting people about all the dishes they have to do when they come to the family parties. Bitch, no one's coming anymore. No one cares. I don't want to be near you. You should be in a padded room. How my mother is in an asylum and you have somehow escaped it is beyond me, and it's beyond everybody. You are a disgrace. Drug addict, potentially closeted lesbian. You've never moved out of the house. Nobody respects you. You are a pedophile, probably. You are gross around kids. Nobody wants you fucking taking baths with their fucking kids. You're a fucking weirdo. They got to watch you like fucking Epstein. So don't keep my name out of your mouth, okay, pedophile drug addict?
Dude, this is great. I feel like I've watched this one before, but I don't think I really took it all in until now. I think I remember watching part of this. Didn't watch the full thing. This is insanely great. Tim, hell of a suggestion, by the way. This is incredible. I'm loving this. This is fucking great. This is better than anything Jerry Springer can offer. Like, this is great. This is just like pure, unadulterated, unhinged rant about an annoying fucking aunt that Tim has. Insane. I love it.
This is the fake business mug. And the fake business mug is not on sale anymore.
No,
is it?
it's
No,
still
it's
for sale.
not. Oh, it is for sale.
Till the 28th, yeah.
I just thought it was a bit rude how she came for me, brought up my grandfather, said something very nasty to me. I mean, what part of my grandfather's legacy do you honor by not working? This is a guy that worked every day of his life. So you don't work, you don't have a family, you steal money, you fake drug overdoses, you're a moral degenerate, you have no respect for people, you drive wedges in between people in the family, and you attack successful people in the family. My grandfather did none of those things. He was a devoutly religious, incredibly generous, brilliant, hard worker who raised an entire family. You are the exact opposite of all of those things. All of those things, okay? Every one of them.
Hold on.
I blocked you. I got a new phone to get out of the group chat because I didn't want to deal with your constant terrorism or updating me like, hey, little Tom got his license. Who gives a fuck, dummy? Get a job. Get a fucking job. I have a job. Why don't you get a job? Stop worrying about who got their license. Nobody wants you near their family. You fucking freak. Where's your man, bitch? Where's your woman? Where's anything? What are you doing? I mean, let's get real. I mean, this is a woman who does nothing but attack. And by the way, fuck my fam. And I like some of them. And then my aunt goes like this. She goes like this. She goes, oh, well, you know, if I bump, she's told this to somebody else, because if I bumped into him, I'd really give him a piece of my mind. How are you going to bump into me, bitch? I don't live in your kitchen, okay? You've never left. You've never left home. I'm in Malibu, ho. How am I going to bump into you, okay? Buying Tampax at the local CVS for your barren, childless vagina? How would we ever bump heads together? Keep my name out of your mouth, scumbag. You're a degenerate. You're a moral degenerate. This isn't even a podcast anymore. I'm talking directly to you. You are a failure and a moral degenerate, okay? Cum pig from a sketch a few years ago on my chest is a funny, dumb joke. You, my friend, are a disgusting nightmare that nobody wants to be around. You're a thief. You've stolen people's money. Haven't you, Kathleen? You've stolen money, haven't you? You know you have.
Whoa, dude, this is gold. This is hilarious. Dude, I love unhinged rants like this shit. This shit gets me going, man. Because there are people in my life, man, not too many, Some. I feel this way about. Oh my God. Beautiful. My cheeks hurt from freaking grinning too much. Damn. This is insane, man.
Where's the money, Kathleen? Did you take it? You took all the money, didn't you? And then you go cry. And some people in the family be like, you're being too hard on her. Fuck you too. Hey, fuck.
Exactly. It's like if I'll go, like, for instance, like, you know, I go on rants about my dad and stuff like that because he's been a very negative influence on me in my life and just been a kind of a, not just kind of, total D-bag to me most of my life. And some people will say, aren't you being a little too hard on him? And I say no. He deserves this level of hatred from me from time to time because he has been nothing but a terrible influence on me my whole life, including in adulthood. I realized that he was the worst person to, you know, he's still alive, but you know, he is the worst person to model my life after. He's a frequent, he drinks a little too much. Yeah, he's a smug son of a bitch. Let's keep going.
You too. You think I give a fuck about any of you? Fuck you, bitch. I have a family, okay? It's Joe Rogan and Candace Owens, my mother and father. Give a fuck about you fucking clowns. Go do a fucking Irish step dance. I don't give a shit. This bitch is out of her fucking mind. You are out of your mind. Just bringing my grandfather on my Instagram trying to knock me like that. It's a shitty thing to do, especially from you, who's accomplished zero in your entire fucking life. So that's kind of how I wanted to start off the show. Because I just, and it's not the whole show, but I just want to, you know, get it out in the open the way that
I would love to see a whole segment about this. Like 10 minutes just doesn't feel like it's enough. I'd love to see even more than that. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Freaking wild to me, man.
feel about this woman who just every opportunity she tries to neg me, and she does it on a public forum. And I will do it now on a public forum too. So I apologize, and I would be worried that you'd sue me, but you don't know how to practice law. You're not a real lawyer, are you? Because you work from a basement. And you have pretend clients. You set up a Care Bear you had from when you were fucking 9, and you still have because you never left your house. And you go, hello, Mr. Care Bear, did you have a DWI? Well, let's look at your options. You're a clown, bitch. No one takes you seriously. You should be getting electroshock therapy. Bitch, if it was years ago, you'd be Rosemary Kennedy. You'd have your, and I know, I'm not making fun of the mentally ill, but my mother's a fucking nut, and I know who these people are. And I know that your boyfriend, Donald Trump's out of office now, and trust the plan never happened. And, you know, you couldn't storm the Capitol because it's too far away from the fucking house. You've never left. You're a joke to everyone. So if you come on my page again, I'm just going to do this again. I'm just going to keep reminding the hundreds of thousands of people that listen to me, some of whom may know you, what an absolute scumbag you are, and how much of a disgusting pig you continue to be for this all this time. So keep going at me, please. Please.
That was a good video. Oh, man. I don't know what to say on that one. Bravo. Oh, man. Sometimes the amount of times I've wanted to go off on a rant like that, sometimes I hold things back, and I try not to. They're just things that I want to say, like my goodness, man. I don't know what to say. That was insane. Oh, Peter Schiff. By the way, anybody who doesn't know who Peter Schiff is, definitely give him a look-see. This is the YouTuber. He's a great economist. He's probably more anti-Bitcoin than I am, in the sense that I don't even think he bets against it, which I really think he should. You know, not financial advice, but, you know, put your money where your mouth is, my man. Bet against Bitcoin. You know it's trash. Tim Smith says Tim Dillon gets hired at Sonic is a great video too. Let's see. See how long it is, though. Tim Dillon gets hired at Sonic. Oh, hold on. I put that in the wrong tab. Hold on. Okay, this is a short clip. We'll watch this one
Call
real quick.
Sonic and let's see what I want to know what the starting salary is and what's the problem. Sonic is a fun place to work. You get to see fights. It's fun. None of them answer the phone. I mean,
Good afternoon. This is Sonic Shift. How may I help you?
yeah, are you guys hiring right now?
We actually are, sir. How you doing?
Good. What would this like starting salary be there?
The starting salary, sir, we pay by the hour, but depending on the position that you want, and then we can see about salary.
What would it be for an hour of work, would you say?
Yes, sir. How much would it be for an hour work? Depends what you do, sir. If you're a cook, it's what? It'll be 11 for a cook.
Okay, 11 for a cook. What about like a cashier?
What is the cashier? Car ups are $5 an hour because they get tips.
Oh, do you get a lot of tips?
They got a good amount of tips, but it's just, yeah, they got a good amount of tips.
So it's under minimum wage. It's $5 an hour, and then you get tips.
Yes, sir.
Is it a fun place to work? Like, can I take some food home for myself?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I could eat every day at Sonic if I wanted to.
Yeah, you just gotta. Yeah, pretty much you could have.
Yes.
You drink any drink you want.
Any drink okay, so it's $5 an hour, but I could drink all the soda I want.
Yeah.
Okay, and eat any food. Can I make myself an ice cream every now and then?
Yeah, of course. Yes, sir.
It's not a bad deal. $5 an hour, tips. Do they really give you? So they'll give you tips, and I can eat all the soda and burgers I want, and make myself an ice cream.
I mean, you can make yourself an ice cream, and then maybe one day you'll be able to make yourself an ice cream, and then another day you'll be able to eat some food, and then another day.
I get it.
Oh, this is cold. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh lordy. I gotta stop this for a second. This is a great call because Tim, I'll tell you what about Tim Dillon. He has this ability. I don't know what it is, and I kind of want to emulate it because it's so brilliant because he's just so good at asking the questions just straightforwardly in a very straightforward way. It's unbelievable. And then, you know, he asks a lot of questions to get to the bottom of things. But what's good is he has this ability to still seem like he's interested. And I think he is legitimately interested. He's curious. And I think a lot of people can tell that about him. So people are more willing to answer his questions because even his questions, he does have a curious tone to him. And he just wants to know. Even if it's all in the name of fun acting. But
you don't want to abuse it, but every now and then you could get something different.
Yes, sir.
Right, so you have one day's ice cream, and then the next day you can sneak a burger.
Yeah.
And maybe I could sneak some French fries on the third day.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'll head down there and I'll apply.
Yes, sir. But cooks do get paid $11 an hour, and we are in need of cooks.
So you're in need of cooks, and do I have to be good at cooking?
No, sir, not at all.
Not really.
No,
you learn.
You don't need any experience for this. You just gotta be having the willingness to learn.
And how much food can the cooks take? I would probably a good amount.
What was that, sir?
Like the cooks can take a good amount of food, right?
Yeah, we cook about on the weekends like from $1,000 to $2,000 worth of food and product. We're doing lunch, and that's on the
right,
weekends.
Because I have a family, and it's very hard to get them food. So if I wanted to, I could maybe take 2 little burgers for my children.
Yeah, so that'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, because they're babies, but they do like burgers. We're getting them.
Yeah.
We're getting them started early.
Yeah, of course, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You have a good day.
Thank you. What's the problem? I mean, what is the fucking problem here? You're allowed to eat and drink all the soda you want and eat all the Sonic you want. But you got to do it in a smart way. It's like one day you make yourself the ice cream, the next day you get, and it's $5 an hour. What's wrong with that? It's $5 an hour to work at. Now do the math on that. $5 times 40, it's $800 a week, right?
5 times 40.
It's $800 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Or
it's
200.
$200 a week. I'm an idiot.
So then $800 a month.
It's $800 a month is what I mean.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
$800 a month. So what's the and now what is that? It's under 12 grand a year. It's 11 grand a year.
Yeah, so that
But
would
then
be
you get the tips. But the folks, you get the tips.
Mhm.
Now you know me. When I go to Sonic, I didn't even know you could tip, or we're supposed to. We've gone to Sonic. There's literally nothing that would suggest that I tip at Sonic.
No.
Not a sign. I don't. But I imagine that because you're making $9,600 a year. but free. You can drink anything you want, any soda you want. One day you get an ice cream, next day you get French fries. Not a bad deal. If you were like me in my hypothetical and I had 2 little babies.
I didn't know they tip at Sonic either. Because this is actually really funny. Because the funny thing about this is, I was at grocery outlet earlier and I brought my girlfriend out to Lakeside. I brought my girlfriend some Sonic freeze. What do you call them? Little freeze popsicles or whatever. But here's the thing. I don't know what that has to do with anything really, but I'm a little brain dead right now, so you have to bear with me, everybody. But yeah, overall, I didn't know you tipped at Sonic either. I thought they were just a fast food joint, like, you know what I mean? Like, no different than McDonald's. I mean, they're a little classier. Sonic, their restaurants are pretty good. I like their food. Their food is honestly awesome. I would choose Sonic over Wendy's or anything like that. I might be crazy, but I would choose Sonic overall. Oh, Yager's Farm, by the way. We got my boy Yagers in the house. So Yager's Farm is saying you always tip at Sonic. Oh man. You always tip at Sonic. Okay. First off, I will say this. I've only been to the Sonic fast food joints like once in my life. It was like one time. I can't even remember if we tipped. I'm pretty sure I like to think we tipped. My girlfriend is better at keeping track of tipping than I do. She's more of a restaurant person than I am. I hate restaurants. I really hate restaurants with a passion. I prefer just to cook my slop at home and then just eat it in a corner somewhere like a caveman. Yager's Farm says, yo, what's up, dude? It's good to see Mr. Jim. Good old Yager's Farm, the GOAT. I need to start revving up my content, man. I gotta make it to where the membership is worthwhile. But he is one of our very first members. Michael Donaldson's technically the first member of this show, but Yagers is number 2. Now, I want to say anybody who becomes a member, I just want to say there is no obligation to keep the subscription up. If it becomes, I know it's only 99 cents or $1.99, but it adds up. So I'm always looking out for everybody's wallets. That matters to me. I don't want people to pay an arm and a leg for this show. Let's see. That matters to me. Let's see. Yes, you always tip at Sonic. They should be running out the door to get your food fast. Yep. They're pretty dope, though. I mean, we went to the little drive-through thing, and the little it reminds me of like those old 70s diners or whatever. It's kind of cool. I'm not very good at describing it, though. There was several ahead of me. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, Sonic, even though I've only been there once, I like their burgers. They got some good burgers. At least I think that's what I got. If I remember right. I'm usually a big burger guy. Whenever I go to a restaurant, I like to get their burgers. So. I will say though, you guys, I am a little bit tired, even if they look like. Yeah, no, I think certain places definitely there is the expectation of a tip, and then there's other places like Burger King or McDonald's where the expectation's not even there. I prefer fast food, if we're going to be honest. If I'm going to go to any restaurant, I'm going fast food. Reason being is because I don't go to restaurants very often because, one, they're expensive, and I don't really feel comfortable having somebody wait on me, you know what I mean? Like, tending to my every whim. Do you need more water, sir? Do you need more of this, sir? It just feels weird to me. I don't know. Maybe it's because my ancestors were used to being slaves. I think I come from a long line of people that just feel weird when somebody's trying to serve them. I try. Let's see. Yager says, where is everybody at tonight? Oh, we had some people in earlier on here, and I will admit we don't get the biggest turnout for the horizontal lives, but I've been really doing my best. Trying to make sure that, doing whatever we can here. Yager says we've always been. But I will say, you guys, I'm a little bit tired right now. I've been streaming for about an hour, 39 minutes. Jeez, Cool. Well, we had some people on earlier. It was really fun. We didn't really talk about what I want. We did kind of talk about it a little bit. We're talking about how it's more important to focus on your portfolio rather than your career. You know what I mean? Is I think that focusing on the portfolio, it's still good to focus on your career, but I believe that priority number 1 should be your investment portfolio. Priority number 2 should be the career, whatever that is. I don't really have a career. I just work and I'm good at what I do.
They wanted burgers. If I was a chef, I could bring the little burger home to the babies. Again, it's not a big deal. So you make $9,600 for the year. Now this is fair. You make $9,600 for the year, but tips. Now what do you think they make in tips there? $20,000? $25,000 at Sonic Tips? What do you think they make in tips a day?
Honestly, $25.
A day?
Yeah, probably a day.
So then how many days would you imagine they work?
Probably 4.
4 to 5 days. So let's say 5 times 25 is what?
5 times 25 would be 125.
Okay. And so 125, and then how many weeks? Let's say they work 45. Let's say they work 50 weeks a year. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
they probably work more. So 50 times 125.
Okay.
That's 6,250. Add it to that 9. Add it to the 9,600. That is, hey, you greedy fucks. That is $15,850 a year to work all day, every day but what's included in that, which you're forgetting, you greedy pigs.
So Yoggers is saying, Michael, people want drama in lives. Want drama in their lives. I know that here's the thing. The way I look at it is like there will always be conflict in one's life. There will always be things that one has to deal with. I try to avoid it. You know, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And I think the best way to avoid most of the crazy shit in life is just to avoid dramatic people and stuff like that. And yeah, at least overall.
Is an occasional ice cream, and probably you could make the large, and all the soda you want. And occasionally you can bring a...
I will say that was a great clip. Good find, Mr. Tim Smith. I love it. Incredible. Oh, here's the Portland Trailblazers' newest addition, by the way. I'm not going to play any of the sound. I'm just going to show you guys our new boy, my boy Yang, dude. Yang Hansen, I think. Yeah, Yang Hansen. I don't know if he's like Chris Hansen's, Chinese son or anything, but look at this. Look at that pat. Oh, my God. Yeah, Yoggers, man. Yeah, people do. They like that drama, man. They like everything. That's why people watch the news, man. They don't really care about like improving the world. They just want to see the world burn. That's why they watch the news. You know, the best way to improve the world is just, do the best you can in your situation. Try to contribute in some way and just do what you can. And human beings need incentives. So as long as we live in a world where there's incentives for human beings to do tough things, that matters. Incentives matter. Got to give incentives. That's just human nature. Man, that's a good dude. He looks great. I think this kid could be the future of the Portland Trailblazers. Yang Hansen, man. Yager says, what about the boy that now plays for Florida? Oh, I'm not too sure. I haven't looked into him at all. But anyway, you guys, I am a little bit tired. Quite a bit. I actually do got to go to bed here in a little bit. I got to start laying down. I'm going to try to respond to some comments on YouTube at least. Try to keep up with that. I love to respond to every comment. It's kind of an addiction of mine because it is fun to argue with people and troll people in the comment section, and it's fantastic,
so how much
man.
of these things did you buy? I mean, you got.
Oh, okay. I'm a little tired at the moment. So, yeah, he's 7'1", dude. And he plays a lot like Tim Smith says. Let's see, what about? So Yoggers is saying that the guy that's playing for Florida is about 7'9". Shit, that's a pretty good size, man. That's a damn good size. Yeah, I love those any tall players, man, that we can get. And I will say that Tim Smith is saying Yang is 7'1". Yoggers is saying Oliver Ryukes. Oh, really? I think I've seen this kid. He's a big boy. If he's the guy I'm thinking of, I'll have to take a look at him later. But Tim Smith is saying that Yang is 7'1". Yep, he plays a lot like Nikola Jokic, who plays for Denver. I think this kid we might have picked ourselves up a prodigy, because he really does play a lot like Jokic. Oh wow, he's 19. Jeez. Yeah, and a lot of those guys, if they're like 7'9", it's tough, man. There comes a point where a player could get too tall, to where like their body, it might be dangerous for them to play for too long. You know what I mean? 7'9", that's a big. This Oliver kid, dude, 7'9". It's tall. It's very tall. Tallest teenager in the world, absolutely, dude. I don't think I've ever. I wish him nothing but health, man. Because being that tall, man, you have to have specialized clothing made for you. You have to have everything specially made for you. Special shoes, special shirts, special shorts, everything. It's everything. But it does help. I mean, it would help. It's, there's always going to be an NBA team that's looking for height. And if you're really tall and you have basic good fundamentals, he could probably have a career playing like Tim Duncan or something. Yager says, money, money, money. Absolutely, man. I can't wait to see this kid in action, man. This will be pretty dope. But anyway, you guys, I am a little bit tired. Like I said, as much as I got to get to bed. I got to respond to those comments on the YouTubes and then just kind of rest it up. But anyway, I appreciate you, Yoggers. Appreciate you, Mr. Tim. And by Yoggers, I mean Jim, my boy Jim. Make sure you guys subscribe to Yoggers Farm, though. Jim's got some cool videos. Tim Smith is the man, one of the best contributors to this channel as well. Mr. Donaldson kicking some butt. He was on earlier. He had to get going. Mr. Donaldson, stay safe out there, brother. So Donaldson said he was going to go check out the eruption and stuff. And there's an eruption, there's a volcano eruption going on in Hawaii and one of the islands. And he lives in Hawaii, so let's just hope that everything goes through smoothly. I'm praying for him. Like, hope he doesn't get too close to the volcano. But let's see. Yager says, how about the rubbers? Hey, the rubbers. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you guys. Yager's Tim is the man, dude. Tim Smith, baby. But yeah, no, I'm a little bit tired, you guys. I appreciate y'all. Gotta get that rest, and I'm gonna try to upload a couple shorts before I go to bed. Just upload them up to the YouTubes. Anyway, catch y'all later. I'm out. Yeah, my eyes are sagging. I'm malfunctioning, everybody. All right, later, boys.